This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFL TV in association with MTK Global. What are you doing? No, seriously, what are you doing? This is really uncomfortable. This is your publicist, by the way. I'm joined by David Haye. How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic. All is well. I'm excited. I'm getting ready for war.
Yeah.
But not
not
being
you
part of
physically,
war.
yeah.
Not me physically, but getting ready for war. You know something's brewing around the corner. Something's coming. Very exciting. And look forward to it.
What do you tell a man like Derek Chisora, like a week before, or the week of a fight, or a week before a fight? What do you tell someone like him that's kind of been there and?
There's not much you can tell Derek Chisora fight week. All of the hard work's been done. All of the graft has been done, and all the early mornings, all of the hardcore conditioning sessions, the sessions that really will mean something when the fight gets to the halfway point, are already done. At this stage, it's just fine-tuning the technical side of things. With Don Charles, who's been with him from the start, just literally just fine-tuning the tactical side of things. But the majority of the hardcore is only probably less than a week now of graft left, and Derek's in the flow. He's in good condition. People who have worked with Derek in the past, Don Charles said that he's never seen him in such peak condition. So he's been sleeping. All of the things that I feel may have hindered him in the past. His social life and rich foods have been sort of pushed to one side for this camp. You should see the results of that on December 22nd.
We saw a clip of him going through some strength and conditioning, and he looks already, we can see, in physically very good shape.
Yeah, he is. His waist's got smaller, his body fat's dropped down, but that's just hard work. If you sit down eating donuts all day long, you're going to put on body fat. If you eat lean, mean foods and you're training hard, you're going to get leaner. So he's a lot leaner than he has been in the past. I'm not saying that he used to eat donuts all day long, but you can see from his physique in fights gone by that the calorie intake to the calorie burn, the ratio wasn't ideal for a fighter. But now he's shaping up, and I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised when they see him jump on the scales. He's healthy, he's eating plenty of good food, and he's ready for battle. So I'm excited.
We've seen this little clip going around of Derek Chisora using the laxative analogy. I don't know where this came from, but it's Chisora.
Yeah, Chisora. He's a very eccentric type of guy, and he's gonna go through him. Whether it's like a laxative or not, I don't know, but he's gonna go through him, and
it weirdly made sense.
It did. It was in a weird way. It did. I knew what he's talking about. I think everyone knew what he's talking about. It's just a strange analogy, as Dylan said. But Dylan rose to the occasion last time out. They both did, I think, first fight 2 years ago. They both came out of the fight with enhanced credibility in terms of heart, dedication, will to win. They ticked all the boxes you would expect a fighter to tick on the big stage. This time round, they're both going at it again. Dylan Whyte has had the performances in the ring. He's had a pay-per-view fight before now, where he headlined. He's sold out the O2 Arena. So he's been ticking all the boxes in the ring. Derek hasn't. Derek went to Monaco. He underperformed out there. A lot of people wrote him off. But he didn't write himself off. He knew that was him underperforming. He knew that wasn't his level. His level's way above that. And this is his chance to prove it. This is his chance to say, listen, I'm not, at best European fringe level. I'm a world-class contender, and I'm going to prove that by putting an absolute beatdown on Dylan Whyte. Someone who's very tough, very strong, very determined. His left hook is one of the best in the game. I'd say it's probably one of the best in world boxing. He's proved that by heavily dropping the young, fresh Joseph Parker. That left hook that he caught him with, I don't know any other heavyweights really that could get up from a shot that was that clean. Maybe Tyson Fury. But for me, you know, it's just such a beautiful mesh of styles. They're both Lockhorns. You know, I'd say Dillian Whyte is the superior long-range boxer. If it comes down to a jabbing match, you'd have to go with Dillian Whyte to out-jab Chisora, as Chisora's not a jabber. But if we engage in close hand battle, toe-to-toe slugfest, I'm going my boy Derek Chisora to bring the war. You know, so the quicker you can bring that war to Dillian, the quicker we can get this into a slugfest, the quicker these guys can lock horns. That's where I believe Derek Chisora rises to the occasion. That's where I believe he thrives. He thrives in the heat of the battle. He needs that. You know, Dillian Whyte has this big fight down the line with Anthony Joshua that everyone's talking about. You know, is he going to want to try and win easy and try and keep at the end of his jab and sort of nick rounds here and there, or is he going to come toe to toe, letting the blows fly? We'll find out. You know, but it's going to be exciting one way or another.
David, I know you're going to be a little bit reluctant to talk about this because you said that before that it's Dillian Whyte and that's the focus. There's no talk about anything past Dillian Whyte until that fight surfaces.
Because nothing. No, you know, in the lead up to this fight, you know, I said, imagine, depending on the result of this fight, you live or die. Sounds crazy. Imagine if there was no December 23rd. What would you do in training to give yourself? How would you want to be remembered? What performance do you want to put on? And the training that he's been doing suggests that, you know, this is it. I don't talk about fights after that. It's only this fight. This fight. Anything other than a win, a draw's not good enough. He needs to win this fight and needs to win it spectacularly. If he wants the big fights, as you're talking, the potential, there's some potential huge fights out there, but none of them materialise if he doesn't get this victory. So nothing's been spoken about other than Dillian Whyte, because it's a waste of time. It doesn't mean anything. Once he has the victory, once he wins, then we can look at the heavyweight landscape and then sort of make our move.
But my question really was, I know you like I said, you're reluctant to talk about this, but Derek isn't being mentioned in any kind of breath as an opponent.
And why should
Dillian Whyte is.
Why should he?
All right, so if
the performance against Carlos Takam was a great win in terms of result, but watch it up until the round he knocked him out, and it wasn't that competitive. It was pretty one-sided. That's why people aren't sure whether it was a fluke. They don't know whether Derek is just way better than Carlos Takam, or whether he sucked him in and let Carlos Takam punch himself out on his head and then knocked him out. People don't know. People are unsure, but they do know he took a hell of a lot of damage in that fight. And what's left? From what I can see, he's got plenty left. He's got plenty of will, plenty of determination, and you know, if it goes into that slugfest where you're gonna have to go soul searching, I've got no qualms that Derek can and will dig as deep as he needs to. Dillian Whyte, you know, we can only assume he brings the same. So either way, whatever happens in this fight, it's going to be an absolute cracker. It's an early Christmas present to everyone. So treat yourself and get that pay-per-view. It's going to be really, really, really exciting.
Obviously, I'm going to talk to you about a week and a half ago in LA. A dramatic fight between Wilder and Fury for many reasons. Quite notably, obviously, what transpired in the 12th round. What was your kind of verdict on the decision of that split draw?
I thought, you know, it was a tough one. I could see arguments for both. You know, I personally had Fury at that point up, winning. I wasn't scoring the fight like round by round, but the flow of the fight seemed as though, even with the knockdowns, that, you know, Fury should have got the nod. But you got to remember, we are in America. He was challenging the champion, the WBC champion, and I've heard Wilder say to beat the champion, you have to take the belts off him. And you know, in the last round, Fury was heavily knocked down. I think the draw, although it may seem unfair, I think both fighters get an opportunity to do it again. Both fighters get an opportunity to improve, and I don't think it was a bad decision in terms of for boxing. The fact that we get to see two, you know, great fighters go at it again, I think is good. You know, it's a little reminiscent of the Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis first fight, and you know, everybody thought Lennox did enough to win, but he only got the draw. But we got an opportunity to see it again, and then Lennox really raised his game and won the second fight quite conclusively. So both fighters can improve. You know, Deontay Wilder, it was his first real big fight where he was fighting someone with real value. You know, Tyson Fury, never lost before. He's a guy who beat Vladimir Klitschko, who's gone to foreign soil and fought on the big shows and performed. And this was Deontay Wilder's first chance to really show the American public what all the hype's been about. And in terms of punch power, he proved that. In terms of boxing ability, he needs to tighten up. I know the performance he put forth a couple of weeks ago wasn't his best performance. I could see he was loading up a little too much. He was rushing his punches. That wasn't him at his best. But having said that, Tyson Fury getting caught with those shots. Would Tyson Fury, who maintained his momentum after the Klitschko fight and not gone on his mad binge that he went on, would he have been getting caught with those shots? I don't know. So both fighters have got a lot to improve on, but who can improve the most? We know Wilder has the punch power. We know Fury has the boxing ability. So it's just a beautiful clash of styles, clash of personalities. But I think that fight did Tyson Fury a hell of a lot of good in terms of public appeal. I don't know anybody who watched that fight who may not have been a Tyson Fury fan before. They're a fan now. It's hard not to be a fan of Tyson Fury when you see someone show that type of heart. When you see someone get crunched like that, get put down heavily, and you see him come up, even if he doesn't get up to win, he got up and got a draw, whatever. He showed something that many fighters over the years, you see people go down, oh, my arm hurts, my leg hurts, I'm pulling it. No, he was asleep. He was asleep, and like the Undertaker, he wakes up and gets up.
What was going through your brain when he was laying on the floor?
When he was laid down, I thought that's it. I thought that the shot that Wilder had been looking for all night long, he finally landed. Not only did he land the right hand, he gave him a left hook on the way down just for good measure. So I thought if the right hand didn't knock him out fully, the left hook should. Or maybe he knocked him out with the right and then sort of woke him up with the left. I don't know. Whatever he did, Tyson Fury, whatever he does for the rest of his life now, he was that guy who got up from that absolute shellacking of a combination. That shot, I'm pretty sure, would have taken out any. No, it's not like it was in the first round. It was in the 12th round after he was tired. Yeah. A big 6'9" guy moving the body around, dancing, playing around. He's tired. He was tired, but he somehow got back to his feet. He did a little jog, ran back and forth, and you got to give the referee credit for allowing that fight to continue, because many referees wouldn't have given the fighter the benefit of the doubt. And what happened proved to me that the referee made the right decision. Because a fight is supposed to be stopped for the boxer's benefit, to save him for another day. Well, he didn't need saving because he came back and actually, won the last part of the round. He hit Wilder at the end.
Even had his showboating moment as well. Yeah, hands behind his back. Less than a minute after that happened.
Exactly. Yes. For me, that proved that the right thing happened. Yeah, it would have been a shame if the fight would have got stopped at that stage, and and Fury may have got a loss and may have not been able to get another big fight soon. But for me, the right thing happened in terms we get to see it again, and the WBC ordering an immediate rematch. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a fight. Everybody has an opinion. When people have an opinion on boxing, it makes it interesting. More people are talking to me on the street about this fight than many fights going back a long time. So for me, it's got the public speaking. The fact that it happened in America at 5 a.m. and people in Britain are still buzzing about it shows that it really sort of captured the public's imagination.
Just finally, two fights as a boxing fan that we never got to see was yourself and Tyson Fury, and also yourself and Anthony Joshua, because that at one point was kind of the Tyson Fury and Joshua of now. You and Joshua, wasn't it? But if I could say to you...
No, not really. I was a little bit, older at the time.
Oh, I'm just saying from a wanting to see point of view. Okay. If I could say to you, what would you rather see next? The rematch, or Joshua Wilder, or Joshua Fury?
I'd like to see the rematch between...
Ahead of all the others, yeah.
Ahead of all the others. I'd like there to be a conclusive victor. I want to see that, because just because I personally thought it went a certain way, who cares what I think? It's only down to the three judges' opinions are the only one that matters. and that's it. People can cry, it was a robbery, blah blah. It doesn't matter what you cry. The only opinions that matter are the 3 judges, and I want to see 2 of the 3 at least agree that one fighter wins one way or another. And so once that's settled, then we know who's the better out of those 2, whether it's Wilder, whether it's Fury, you know, whoever let the better man win. And then I'd like to see the winner of that fight, Anthony Joshua. That for me would be a good way to finally end all of the talk and all of the opinions. That's the good thing about boxing. You can have all the opinions you want. Put 2 guys in the ring, and usually you get an answer. We didn't get an answer last time out. It was a draw. A few people feel they got what they wanted to see, but we need it on the record. We need the record books to state the first fight was a draw. The second fight was a win, ideally by knockout for A or B.
I've got one more question for you.
Yes, you had that 6 more questions now.
This is genuinely the last one.
Okay.
Can you see Amir Khan and Kell-Brook happening, David?
Yeah, I can see that fight happening.
Next?
Maybe not next, but I can see it happening. They're probably both going to be about 45 by the time they fight each other. I think they'll fight each other. I think, you know.
You don't think Khan will take the Crawford fight?
Maybe Amir Khan's using the Crawford fight to get a better deal for the Kell fight. Maybe.
Or maybe Kell-Brook underperformed the other day, in his words, to entice Amir Khan in. Maybe.
Exactly.
Some people have suggested.
I think that, you know, in years gone by, Ricky Hatton never fought Junior Witter, or vice versa. Witter didn't fight. It didn't happen. We've all got by. We've all survived. You know, Ricky Hatton had a fantastic career, won world titles. Junior Witter won world titles. They both went about their lives. But I'd always like to have seen that fight. Didn't happen. Oh well. This could be one of those situations. Let's hope it isn't. Let's hope they decide to jump in the ring and do it for the fans and do it for each other. They're both going to earn fantastic money. I know, you know. But if there is a potential Crawford match, you know, Amir Khan, you know, he knows what it means to be, you know, sort of in the runnings for the pound for pound. He fought some amazing fighters over the years. He's always gives a great account of himself, and the Crawford fight it'd be a great fight. You know, it's not Kell-Brook, but if he beats Crawford, he's then top 5 pound for pound, and if he beats Kell-Brook, he's not pound for pound, you know, but maybe Khan is focusing on legacy and not on sort of pound notes, or, you know, I don't know. It's down to him. I think whichever route he takes, he'll be successful. You know, he'll achieve what he wants to achieve. But as a selfish fan point of view, I'd rather him fight Kell-Brook, because it's, you know, it's an all British affair. I'm British. We all want to see these 2 guys get it after all the talk. You know, up until Crawford, this fight was mentioned, no one mentioned Crawford and Amir Khan. There was no. Have you heard any hype about that before? It was like completely out of.
You mentioned him once before in an interview, but there wasn't any kind of serious
any meat.
As far as I know,
yeah,
no.
I know. So that's how I felt. It seemed like a bit of like, well, okay, interesting. If he can make that happen, if the Kell-Brook fight doesn't happen, I'm not going to be disappointed if the fight happens. How can a boxing fan be disappointed with that? You know, it's just another great fight. It's just another great fight. But obviously, selfishly, you know, Amir Khan makes the decisions he makes. You know, he's had a fantastic career, and if he wants more world titles, you know, and he wants to be pound for pound, is one option. If he wants to give the fans a domestic clash of the Titans, then he can fight Kell. But, you know, Amir's going to do what Amir wants to do, and he's the king of his castle, and he makes decisions that work out for him best.
One more question, David.
One more. No. That's it. Fuck's sake.
That's a joke. I was only joking.
Cool. Everyone's waiting here.
I know.
Okay.
David Haye, thank you very much for talking to Eiffel
How long
TV.
did you drag this interview out for? Go on.
How
many minutes?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes. You said 4 or 5 minutes.
I've got another 2 minutes.
You said 4 or 5 minutes before your SD card runs out.
I know, but this is how we do it.
That's how we roll.
David, thank you very much for talking to Eiffel TV.
Always.
And roll on fight week.
Yes, let's do this.